don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. The air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. And we sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living rooms. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman, because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crime in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value. So, I want you to get up now. I want all of you to get up out of your chairs. I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
Okay, it's been a day. Give me 1 second here. We are just a bit discombobulated. I'm going to try to get everything going here. We've been moving. Shit's still behind me. That's there. It'll probably be there as long as my hair's here. So, we'll see. We are so close, ladies and gentlemen. Let me, I got to send a message over here really quickly, and then we'll get started. Bear with me. I thought I could get this done before we went on, but I didn't. Give me just 1 second. Did we rush you? Never. Let me see. I think this is, hey, oh, no. Can you do me a favor, Kate? Can you send me a message in the private chat? Because I can't seem to, like our private chat, I can't seem to get it on my computer here.
Okay, give me a minute.
Just so I can make sure that it's where it's supposed to be. Because for some reason, I made the size too big on this computer over here. No, not that one. I think I found it. This. I just wrote this. Did everybody see this, or was that just Kate? What I did was I changed in the duck, in the private. Okay, there we are. Okay, there we are. That was my issue. Sorry. So here in just a few seconds, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be watching video from the Henry County Council that occurred. I don't know if it was yesterday or the day before. We weren't here yesterday. I think it was yesterday. I think it was actually yesterday. Today's Wednesday, right? Yeah, it's Wednesday. No, today's Thursday, the 12th. So I don't know if it was yesterday or Tuesday. I don't know when Henry County has their council meeting. Give me 1 second. We'll get the show started here. I wasn't ready, and we will get it all started.
Okay, for everyone who's confused about what he was talking about, when he says send me a message, I'm assuming he means in our Facebook group.
Yeah, that was my fault.
Here in the Duck, we have a private message group.
Yeah, that was my fault.
Side, along with your comments, where we can comment with you, and then we have a private chat as well, where he and I can talk to each other.
Like during the show.
During the show, where you won't see it, but he will. So
Yeah.
that's what he was talking about. I went automatically to Facebook. So.
That's all right. That was my fault. I shouldn't have said Messenger. That was the problem. What do we call this over here? I don't think we've ever called it anything. I don't hardly ever use it, so I read your shit, but I don't
go
ever
like this when I put something in there during the show.
Yes, I know. All right, folks, we're getting started. I apologize. I needed like 10 more minutes. So here's the deal. Tomorrow. Oh, that is right. That must be the deal. I must be getting like the pre Friday the 13th vibe for about the last 2 days, actually. So. Here's the deal, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. This is episode 619. I am tired. I am exhausted. I'll be honest. I probably should have canceled this week's worth of shows. I probably should have just said, hey, we're going to take the week off. That would have been the most intelligent thing to do, but I have a hard time doing that. And I'm going to tell you, I know people's like, oh, he takes a night here, he takes a night there. It kills me to put up, hey, we're not having a show tonight, or to not go live. I'm so programmed to do it that not doing it always makes it feel like I'm doing something wrong or something bad is happening. So that's what's going on there, and I apologize for being so all over the place, but the studio is so very close. I made a post on social media yesterday. I wanted to rush home and go live last night. We had a lot of stuff to talk about last night, but I just couldn't do it, and it didn't make sense. We were close on so many things that it didn't make sense to stop just to rush home to do the show and then have to either go back or wake up early today to go over there and do it. So we just kept working. We are getting so close. Are those like considered cop nights, like your elected official or government? Yeah, absolutely. Yes, absolutely. Hey, that means I'm looking far better than I'm actually feeling. If I'm looking like I could run a mile in a couple of days, then I'm looking way better than I actually feel. You probably could have gotten a discount on that steroid shot at the. Absolutely. Okay, so I want to tell you this. Okay, here's the deal. We are close. We're close, and that was the technological issue. I was crawling around underneath the desk earlier today, unplugging things that like we didn't need. I don't need the printer here anymore. Pull that out. I don't need this. I don't need this. I don't need this. And I for whatever reason had pulled out the Wi-Fi and didn't know that it was pulled out because I was looking under and I could see all these lights flashing. In the new studio, the band of lights won't be underneath me where I'll have to bend back to look. They're actually going to be right in eyesight. I can't wait for you guys to see this thing. I thought about taking pictures during the process and posting it, but I've actually really been proud of myself because I didn't do that, because I want to just unveil it all at once and it be like, ta-da, all at once. So I'm actually really proud of myself that I've been able to keep this a secret, because other than not burning people, burning sources and things like that, I am horrible. Other than politically speaking, doing what my job is here, presents, birthday presents, keeping secrets like from family members, this and that, I'm horrible at that. So that's that. So I'm actually really proud of myself. But we are so close to that. So, here's the deal. Well, the picture that I posted last night, that doesn't actually show the studio. That's just like little teasers. I'll tell you what.
Now you're arguing semantics. You still could not help yourself and had to show something because it was killing you.
You're right. That's the thing, because I was going to go and say, here it is, and show everybody like a side shot. And I stood there for like 10 minutes thinking like that's right. That's exactly right, Rachel. That's what I thought. And here's the grand scheme of things. Really, you're only going to see this much. The studio's more for me, I guess. You know what I mean? It's not like the grand opening episode is going to be awesome. You know, I kind of thought that we would be doing it around episode 600. You know what I mean? But I also thought we would be moving like on February 4th or 5th. All right. It might be more like 700. So yeah, don't you like this thing back here behind me? So that's what's going on there. Welcome to the show, episode 619. I'm really tired, so my ass is dragging, and this is probably not going to be one of my better shows. Like I said, I probably should have canceled all week worth of shows, but I couldn't do it. So at least a couple here or there it is. So tonight, we're going to be 2035. Tonight, we're going to be looking at the Henry County Council meeting, and I think the meeting... I'm going to look right here. It looks like, the meeting was from yesterday. He's just a wannabe podcaster. Oh, I do need to talk about that too. Kate asked me last night when I got home, after I told her, hey, no show tonight, yada, yada, yada. Kate asked me about the contest video that we're going to put up. And I said, I'm about halfway through it. I'll be able to knock her out tomorrow. Well, I didn't knock it out today. I did not knock it out. So we'll see what happens, and hopefully, keep our fingers crossed, we'll be able to put it up tomorrow. I haven't talked to Kate about this. Do you have anything going on tomorrow? Do you have a show or anything, or a tour? So if we are able, hopefully we'll be able to put up a show tomorrow. We'll be able to do it. Maybe we'll just do like a shorter show where we just do the contest and that's it. So we'll see what goes on with that. That could be cool. Kate's giving me the finger for that. Hey, and let me tell you, well, not the finger. She's giving me the thumb, but the finger and the thumb, it's all the same. Hey, Joe Tompkins says for generic cola only. We got a surprise for you about that. And that's one of the most exciting things. I'm just so excited about everything for that studio. But Kate had this great idea that she brought to me a couple of weeks ago. And it came to fruition. And you guys, there's going to be something for everybody, I hope, in the new studio. It should be very, very cool. I will do that, Rachel. I will get that done. I will call her. We will get that done. Hello, everyone. I'm Gabrielle. Well, hello, Gabrielle. If you're new here, it seems like you're new here. I've not seen the name before. Welcome. This is a political show based out of central Indiana. We focus on local, state, and national politics with a focus on local and state politics, and that's where we're at. So tonight it's kind of like a pseudo Sproles watch, kinda. It's not really. I mean, at the end of the day, this is all because of John Sproles, the sheriff of Henry County. So it's kind of like a Sproles watch. It's more like just a whole lack of normalcy in Henry County. It's like a complete Henry County cluster. That's the name of the show, the Henry County Cluster. And at the end of the day, it's all because of John Sproles. All of this madness, the chaos that Henry County is currently dealing with is because they have a sheriff. Yeah, it's more like so I maybe I need to tune into Ryan Hall, y'all, a little bit longer, because I know it goes watch and warning. and maybe the advisory is a little bit before. Maybe it's a Sproles advisory. That could possibly be. But again, the reason I'm okay with that, it's at the end of the day, it's all because of him. If he if he would have just not done half of what has led us here, okay? If he would have just done half as much of what he's done, then we wouldn't be in the spot that we are at with him. And I just wonder if he ever thinks about that. I have to think he doesn't. I actually went back and I went back and watched some of the old footage from a couple of things that Sproles had done, and it's amazing how much he's ramped up the level of insanity that he does. It might be fewer and further between, but it's like crazier chaos that he does. So I don't know. But last night, the Henry County Council met in their regular meeting for the month of March. The commissioners meet twice. The council meets once. And last night they had a meeting, and during that meeting, they had two different discussions that pertained to the sheriff's department and what's been going on. So we're going, yeah, that's true. Not so fast. We're going to be watching that and discussing that. That's going to be the main part of the show. So we're getting ready to get into that. Before we go on to that, though, yeah, that's right. I do want to give a shout out to Nicole and Catherine, the girls. They did a plug for the show. They did a show this evening and told their listeners and their followers to follow over here. So I appreciate that. As always, we can work together and pass people back and forth. That's the thing. Everybody always feels like it's something where, someone's cutting into somebody. Look, if you don't watch this live, it's going to be here always. You can watch it tomorrow. You could watch it 2 days from now. The thing is, with people that listen to YouTube videos and podcasts and all of that, there's always room. There's always time. You always get to the end of your favorite show and you think, well, I wish there was more. Well, then you can go listen to this. There's always time. So, there's enough room here for everybody, first and foremost. So a big shout out to them and thank you for that. Number two, before we get into it, if you would so kindly consider doing the YouTube things that you're supposed to do, hitting the subscribe button, which it is what it is, click the bell and do all of that. That would be fantastic. We would greatly appreciate that. If you're here live being Thursday, March 12th, 2026, if you're here and you want to communicate with us over here, you do it over there. If you're here via the replay button in the future, you'll comment down below and we will do our best to interact with you and get back to you and do all of that. We would, that would be fantastic. So, yes, that's that. So we'll continue doing that. And, if you, and I'm sure you were going to, Kate, if you can, star all of those, that would be great. I think that's what you're doing, but okay, cool. So, let's move on from here. So the Henry County Council met last night. For people that live in Henry County, I would highly recommend, if you didn't go in person and or if you have not watched the meeting, I would highly recommend you going and you watching the meeting from start to finish. The Henry County meeting last night was a little bit of a long one. Their council meetings tend to be longer for some reason. I don't really know why that is. They're always like twice as long as any other county council meeting. They're always like at the 2 hour, 2.5 hour mark. So last night's meeting lasted right at about 2 hours. So if you're from Henry County and you haven't watched that meeting, I would highly recommend you going on YouTube. They have a YouTube page. The YouTube page is, but I don't know why it's like this. It's Henry space County IN, no space. They could have spaced that out. I don't know why they didn't do that. I cannot understand why these government pages do not market themselves better. I remember when Winchester first started a YouTube page, they had a YouTube page way back in like 2013, 2014. And when they started their YouTube page, for some reason, they didn't want to make it like Winchester, Randolph County, Indiana. They just wanted it to be Winchester, City of Winchester. But because like the City of Winchester, Virginia, or City of Winchester, Kentucky, some other place where there's a City of Winchester had the City of Winchester, it didn't allow them to use that name. So instead of saying, okay, well, we'll use the City of Winchester, Indiana, they just decided what they would do is they would call it the City of Winchester, but then just leave off the R. And that's literally, this is the people who are making the decisions in our local cities and counties and states and what's going on. You've got a group of people that's sitting around and they're saying, okay, we're going to make a YouTube page so people can follow us. The people of our city can follow us. And they're like, oh, dang, City of Winchester's taken. What should we do? And someone says, oh, just leave off the R. That is the level of the people that are running. And that was back in 2013. Nothing's changed. While those people might not still be in office, or maybe now we're talking about Muncie, or maybe now we're talking about Anderson, or maybe now we're talking about Newcastle or whatever. It's all the same. They're all the same type of people. We see that by their actions each and every day. So that just stuff like that bothers me. I mean, I guess that's part of my OCD. I like things to be neat and like orderly, and I like everything to look the same. You know, we basically keep our show titles very similar, and you know, the branding is very on point across the board. It's insane to me. So if you're interested in looking up Henry County's information, because I know a lot of people have a hard time finding it, it's Henry space County IN. County IN is all one word. So very, very strange. Do you know who all's running for sheriff in Henry County? Yes. So, hey, Castle Lord, no problem. Henry County, the sheriff candidates in Henry County are John Sproles, who's the current incumbent and cannot be reelected. I'm hoping that the people in Henry County have had enough of Mr. Sproles and will not be reelecting him, because that would be an absolute tragedy, travesty, any other word that you could possibly imagine. I mean, the thing is, if you do reelect him, the one thing that you can know is you'll only have 4 more years of him. But I don't know that Henry County can stand 4 more years of John Sproles. I just don't think that can happen. So Sproles is your incumbent running for re-election. Next up, let's talk about the other bad choice. Okay, there's lots of bad choices, but let's talk about the 2 people that you should not re-elect or put into office. One is John Sproles. The second is Randy Coward. Randy Coward is running as a Republican. Sproles is a Republican. Randy and John are 2 sides of the same coin. Both of them have a lacking of understanding of what it takes to be a leader. Both of them have a lacking of understanding of what it takes to be in law enforcement. And both of them should be non-entities. Okay. Moving on, you have another Republican, James Jim Nicholson. Nicholson was a 25, 30-year veteran of the Newcastle City Police Department. He's running for sheriff. He ran for sheriff last time 4 years ago. Obviously did not succeed. He's running for sheriff again. We have Craig Ring. And just to be clear, I know information about all of these people. I do not know anything about Craig Ring, but I do know that Craig from time to time will watch the show. And I know that Craig has reached out and said that he would be willing to talk and answer any questions. I don't know anything about him. Okay. We have someone saying EJAC says that Ring has a pending felony. So that's something that he will definitely have to answer for. And the thing is, as all people are innocent until proven guilty. If he defeats the charge or the charge goes away, he's fine. If he is found guilty or pleads guilty, the felony would disqualify him from holding office. But we'll have to find out what the situation is there. And he's obviously running as a Republican. And then next up we have Jason Williams. Jason Williams is currently, is he a sergeant? Or is he a lieutenant? He's some type of brass on the sheriff's department currently. He's served for a number of years, and he's running. So those are your Republican candidates. Your Democrat candidates are Landon Dean, who is a former sheriff's deputy. He is currently the chief of police of the Middletown Police Department and the interim chief of police of Knightstown. So that's that. He's running. He of course ran for sheriff last time, but did not win. And so he's running again. And then lastly, the last Democrat, Williams, has been promoted by Sproles 3 times. That's interesting. So, because I know he was sergeant. So is he a captain now? Is Williams a captain? Hell, I don't know. Well, maybe he's the super sheriff. Williams is the super sheriff above Sproles. I didn't even know they had that many ranks on the sheriff's department. He is a captain now. Holy crap. And David Bockover, David Bendover, as Rachel refers to him. So that's who's running, and he has worked in the jail and works in security now. So those are your candidates for sheriff of Henry County. And people of Henry County, please, choose carefully. It's very, very, very serious. I don't know how else to explain that. It's very, very serious. Yeah, as far as I know, all of the candidates running for sheriff, except John Sproles, has stated that they would be willing to come on, except Sproles. Now, I would be willing to have Sproles on. That would be fun. I doubt he would be willing to come on. So that'll be that. All right. So we're going to go in here. We're going to tune into the Henry County Council meeting already in progress. Okay. The program here, the council meeting is about 50 minutes into their meeting at this point. And what they've done is they're going to talk about that's a no for Randy Howard, I would have to say. They've called up the sheriff's department, and what's interesting to me here is John Sproles is here. So he could be up at the podium, but he didn't go up to the podium. Instead, he sent his chief deputy, Josh Smith. And so Josh Smith is handing out some information to the council, and we're going to listen to a little bit of this. A lot of people sent this to me starting when they were talking with the insurance, but then when I went back through and watched more of it, I thought, we got to have this here too. So there's going to be two things that we're going to be looking at tonight. We're going to be looking at talk about the insurance, but I wanted people to hear what's going on here as well.
I have a question, Christopher.
Yes, ma'am.
Is this the first council meeting that they've had since the commissioners had their meeting where they talked about how bad the insurance situation was?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, yes. And so there will be, when we get to the insurance portion of the evening, there will be a John actually comes up at one point later in the evening, which I find odd, because it's like, if you're here and you're able to come up at one certain point to make like a point, why weren't you up here doing the presentation from the get-go? Okay, whatever. He's tasked this off on Josh Smith, but we know that Sproles and the other elected officials don't get along, so I guarantee you that's why he doesn't want to go before them. He probably can't stand them any more than they can stand him. So that's that. But this is the first meeting that they have held since the big insurance situation came to light.
That's Stagger.
What's happening
So
here?
thank you guys for adding us on late notice. We're requesting approval to establish an additional captain position within the sheriff's office leadership structure, which I realize that would be another salary ordinance, right, Debbie?
All right. First 30 seconds out of Josh talking. They're coming to the council and they are asking the council for another position, and not just another deputy, which, in my opinion, the problem with a lot of sheriff's departments are they're top heavy. And what does that mean? That means they've got too much brass and not enough backbone. The backbone of any police department is the patrol division. So the people that are out on the road doing the things that need to be done, out keeping people safe, making sure people aren't speeding, or answering calls for service and doing all of that. They're not asking for another patrolman. They're asking for another captain. They want a big brass. They're not even being like, hey, we need another sergeant position. We need another, lieutenant for some reason. They're wanting like a big boy. They're wanting a captain. They're wanting to put this in. And what happened is, a while back, they took Matt Pierce and they made him like an administrative captain, and they did a whole bunch of craziness with that. Okay. And so here's what's going on. They're coming to the council and they're asking yes, Kate, which they will bring that up in a minute. And it's just amazing. I'll tell you what it's like. It's like, and Joe Tompkins, Henry County has become very top heavy under the current administration. And that's something that Sproles said that he was going to be against. When Sproles was running back in 2022, Sproles said that, he was going to have his guys out on the road and that's where they needed to be, and Okay. So, and they've not done that. They've not done that. So what this is the sheriff's department under John Sproles is like a heroin addict going to their family and saying, hey, I need I need like $40 to get food. I don't have any food. And the parents are like, come on, we know that you're not going to get food with it. And he's like, yeah. I just need it to get food. And they like give out $40, and he then takes that and immediately goes and buys his next fix. And then tomorrow he goes and he's like, oh yeah, by the way, I need gas to run to Indianapolis. And so can I get $60 for gas? And they're like, look, I know you're not buying gas. You don't even have a car. What are you talking about? That's what this is. You have the sheriff's department coming to the council when they know there's no more money here, and these people know the fix is in. These people, the council knows you guys are just are a disaster, and it's like what they need to do is they need to let the sheriff's department hit rock bottom, and yeah. Absolutely. That's good. That's absolutely good, Kate. It makes me think of parents telling their kids that money's going to be tight. So, be careful, what you ask for Christmas. And then the kid wants a new car. The kid, he's like, well, that's good. So we'll continue on here. And it's like, to me, if I was the council, I would have just looked at him and been like, okay, that's all we need to hear from you. Sit down.
At this time, we're not asking that the council fund this position during the current budget year. The sheriff's office, the sheriff believes that he can find the funding within our existing budget for the remainder of this year. Our request today is simply to approve the position, or I guess the salary ordinance. I know we have to type that up, but so that we can address the growing administrative and operational demands placed on the sheriff's office. We would then ask that this position be formally included in our budget beginning next year. Historically, the sheriff's office has operated with two captain positions, a patrol captain and a detective captain. In recent years, the administrative responsibilities of the office have grown significantly. Because of this, the patrol captain position was temporarily shifted into the administrative captain role in order to manage those increasing responsibilities.
Oh, yeah, I don't have time stamps.
That adjustment helped address administrative needs. It created a gap in patrol supervision. Our goal moving forward is to maintain a leadership structure that includes an administrative captain, patrol captain, and detective captain. This structure allows us to properly manage both the operational side of law enforcement, administrative responsibilities placed on modern agencies. The operational workload of the sheriff's office has steadily increased over the past several years, and that's what you have in front of you. Calls for service handled by deputies show a clear upward trend. And I won't read all those numbers, but it's increased since 2020 from 6,746 to 8,620, which is an increase of 1,874 calls, or roughly 28%. That represents approximately 5 additional calls for service every single day compared to 2020. Importantly, this increase has occurred without an increase in deputy staffing. The same number of deputies and investigators are now handling significantly more workload. It is also important to note that under, I believe it was Sheriff Baker, Chief Deputy Davis could probably verify that, but we did lose a merit deputy position. I think we had 29 and it went down to 28, and we never regained that position. Today's deputies are responding to a higher number of calls for service with fewer personnel than the office previously had available. Since taking office, Sheriff Sproles has advocated for adding 2 merit deputy positions in order to maintain 5 deputies per shift, which provides stronger coverage and operational stability. Maintaining that level of staffing helps maintain consistent coverage, allowing deputies to attend training, allow deputies to earn or to use earned time off. We've all witnessed how much comp payout we have, and maintain operational efficiency. Now, like I said, it was my plan to come in here and ask for additional appropriations to fund another deputy, but I understand you guys are getting hit left and right with additional appropriations. So hopefully in the future we can address that. Beyond responding to calls for service, the administrative workload of law enforcement has increased dramatically. And Chief Deputy Davis, I don't know if you realize that over the 24 years you were there, but it seems like there's a lot more getting thrown at you, I would assume, as the years went by. These responsibilities now include policy development and updates, training, documentation.
DJ, absolutely remember that.
Insurance carrier attorneys, public record requests, digital evidence management, such as body camera footage, which is a huge time eater. And, if we explore in-car cameras, that's just going to double. And fleet management and purchasing coordination. Historically, many of these responsibilities, not all, but many, were handled by the patrol captain or detective captain. Creating a dedicated administrative captain allows the office to properly manage these responsibilities without sacrificing operational leadership. Just want to reference state law real quick. Indiana law recognizes that larger counties require additional administrative leadership. Under Indiana Code 36-8-10-10, counties with populations exceeding 50,000 residents are permitted to establish an administrative rank within the sheriff's department. So basically an additional appointee in admin. Henry County currently has a population of approximately 49,000.
And they're wanting to listen to what they're adding. They're not adding a patrolman. Okay, they want to add a captain, but it's not like they're not adding a captain that's going to be like the detective captain or patrol captain who could be out on the road. They're wanting an administrative captain. They're wanting to add a secretary, somebody to be in the office doing the work. That is not where, what you need? You need your sheriff to set his ass in the department, in the office, and do some of that work. He needs to be off the road, not doing whatever weirdness that he's doing, and he can take some of that load off of the administrative personnel. You need as many people on the road doing the job that they're supposed to be doing, not doing jobs they're not supposed to be doing. Isn't that John Guy's job? Yeah, right. That's very, very good question.
That places us about 29th out of Indiana's 92 counties in population.
That's double foot.
The administrative demands placed on the sheriff's office reflect that reality, even though we fall slightly below the statutory threshold. So what that...
Okay, well, you fall below the statutory threshold. Have a good day. Sit down. See you. Goodbye.
Structure would look like, obviously, you have the sheriff providing that overall leadership and direction for the agency, the chief deputy, which is myself, overseeing policy implementation.
Now listen, I'll be honest. I've been conflicted about the take-home cars. I'm very pro take-home car. Very pro take-home car. But I do believe that well, that's true. I'm not talking about admin as far as managing money. I'm just talking about filing the paperwork and the crap that whatever he's wanting this guy to do. I am pro take-home car. However, I also fully believe that it can be used as a punishment, as a form of punishment. And if you're in a situation where you're bleeding money and you need more money, well, then maybe there's something that we could do. You know what? Here's what you do. You bring all the department in, every single guy, bring them all into the pile, into the room, pack them all in this room, and park their cars all outside. And you go through and you say, okay, raise your hand if you're on call or you're someone that can be at home and can be called in. Okay, so the SWAT guys raise their hand. All right, so you pull the SWAT guys over here. All right, you've got take-home cars. Boop, there you go. Now, raise your hand if you're an investigator or detective and you can be called in while you're off duty because we've had a murder or a rape or a bank robbery or something that calls, takes call in, okay? And you got your guys that raise their hand. Boop, okay, you guys, you have your take-home right over here. Now, you're left with the patrolman, and really... Look, I'm in favor of patrolmen having take-home cars, but sometimes when it gets deep, when the shit hits the fan, you have to make other arrangements. And listen, take-home cars are fairly new. That's not something that people have always done everywhere, always. There's nothing wrong with having these guys coming in plain clothes with their bag, having them change in the dressing room, and then walking out and getting in their car. It's not been that long. It's not been that long that that Muncie didn't have take-home cars. Muncie's only had take-home cars for their patrol division in like the last 8 to 10 years. Okay. So they would come in their personal vehicle, and they would either come in uniform, or they would come in with their, street clothes and have to get ready down in the dressing room and go out and walk around their car and make sure it's not got dings on it and operate all the lights and then get in it. And that's what it was. There's nothing wrong with having pool cars. There's nothing wrong with having pool cars. You can certainly do that. Okay.
Well, it's less time they're on the road too, so less chance of having an accident.
Sure. If you don't have guys,
they're paying for all the gas. I mean, every little bit of money that Henry County can save right now, they need to.
Yeah.
And you'll hear that when we get to the insurance, because it's ugly.
Yeah. And I'll tell you, there are at least, I don't know what they're doing, but I see 2 or 3 different city of Newcastle police cars in the city of Muncie, multiple times a week. I see a couple different Henry County sheriff's cars in Muncie multiple times a week. And that's always very strange to me, I know they're not over here. I know that they're not over here doing work like that. Like, obviously, if you have something that's happened in Henry County and your suspect lives in Muncie, come on, bring it on. I don't care. That's great. You're doing work. But if you're here living, I don't know about that.
And really day-to-day administrative coordination. Administrative captain, which is currently Captain Pierce, is serving in. He's responsible for just administrative operations, training, fleet and purchasing, documentation oversight,
Admiral,
also policy management, and there's a long list. I will spare you.
Oh, the old Reliant K.
Again, what this does, the patrol captain provides supervision for patrol deputies and field operations, and the detective captain oversees criminal investigations and investigative personnel. I'm about done. Again, we want to emphasize that we're not asking the council to fund this position this year. The sheriff's office will absorb the costs within our existing budget for the remainder of the year. Our request today is simply to approve the position or the salary ordinance that we haven't presented yet, but
and so this is just coming in. I'm going to have to look. I don't know. The person that's sending this to me is somebody that I would absolutely say is a reliable source, but this is the first time hearing of this, that I guess Henry County, through the Henry County Sheriff's Department, John Sproles apparently has bought a 24-foot command center and 3 drones. So does anybody out there have knowledge of that? Have we seen that? Is that something that's happening? I'm literally just getting this in as this in real time. So I'm going to have to look into this to see and to piece this together. So I can't confirm that this is absolute true. But I'm going to have to find out. I'm going to have to find out what the situation is here. So I will, I'll keep you posted.
So we can properly structure the leadership of the department. In conversations with Councilman Tom, we've discussed the estimated financial impact, and that's approximately $16,000. For the remainder of the year, the sheriff's office intends to absorb that cost within our existing budget. And then next cycle, obviously, we would ask that be figured in the budget.
You have to give me that breakdown.
Our goal is to ensure the sheriff's office continues to operate efficiently while meeting the growing demands placed on modern law enforcement agencies. Strong
DJ, that's me too.
Clear policy, proper training, and administrative oversight are some of the most effective ways to prevent small issues from becoming expensive problems. This leadership structure allows the sheriff's office to remain proactive rather than reactive while continuing to serve the citizens of Henry County effectively. we respectfully ask for your consideration and approval.
All right, Josh,
Yes.
some questions.
Yes.
Are you taking a patrol deputy and putting them into this position and not replacing them?
So
Or
I'll
Listen.
explain how that happened. So initially we tried to have one captain over both the detective and the patrol division.
Yeah.
We ran into some just communication, just kind of a lack of representation, I guess. And we had moved Matt to the administrative captain. So now we realize that we don't want to move Matt back to patrol captain because we really do need the help. And we realize, but we also realize there's a lack of leadership over on the patrol side. And so technically, yes, we have just
I think you
shorted
got
us
that
a guy
wrong.
from doing something.
Say that again.
I think you got that wrong. He said there's a lack of leadership on the patrol side. I just think there's a general lack of leadership.
That's true. It's not like he got it wrong. He just added too many words. He just needed to say, yeah, right.
so are you planning to fill that position?
Well, when I was prepared to ask for that, but I don't know if that may be something next, as we get into the budget.
So he
time,
was
we
prepared.
ask.
He was prepared to ask for that too. Like they want to ask for them to write a new salary ordinance for a new captain, and they want new, dear Lord.
I mean, if you guys would approve an extra spot right now, that would be awesome. But I know that money is tight. But yes, we would like to do that.
Okay. I have other questions. If you don't mind, please. So the salary would be that's the salary of the captain. So that's where you're getting the $16,000 difference from. Yeah, if you want to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the salary of the captain is 78,825, and the assumption is that leadership ranks would just promote up. They're not going to promote a deputy to captain,
Right.
But as the vacancies underneath of the captain are vacated, then everybody would move up, resulting in one less deputy salary, which is 62,800. So the difference is actually $16,025.
I guess.
Can I add one other thing?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
It's important to note also that a captain's salary right now is funded out of lit, and a deputy salary is funded out of general fund. So a salary ordinance would have to be written out of the general fund, I assume, because I don't think we've got the dollars in lit.
And my other concern, I guess, Josh, is in my experience, the sheriff's department frequently comes for additional appropriations, especially at the end of the year, because your funds are already depleted.
Right here.
Even though you have one of the largest budgets in the county. If, that's my concern. If you come knocking in December, we're going to remind you that you said you had the funds to do this and you shouldn't need to come knocking. It'd be my thought in my head anyway, because that's a concern. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I mean,
I know we have a sergeant spot that we have not filled yet. So that money has been sitting there for a few months. Typically we have some overtime left at the end of the year. We do pay out time with that.
Now we're going to jump forward here.
And vacation time, but we've went to a new way of doing the vacation, paying guys to work vacation.
Because I want you guys to hear this is
and then after
to
the
me
vacation,
just completely.
But typically overtime we've paid out.
Who knows what Sproles is actually telling his
we've paid out a lot
guys?
of comp time.
A lot of transferring into overtime from other lines.
yeah. And then I guess the other concern that we have on our agenda that we still haven't talked about is the immense changes in the insurance. And, going from a $0 deductible to automobiles to now a $100,000. I mean, basically we're uninsured on your car. So if you pull out of here and get in a wreck, where are we going to get that money at? Are you going to take that out of your car line? Or, that's going to be a big concern that is next on our agenda to discuss. So that's, because that opens us up to a great deal of potential liability and especially an unknown liability. I don't know what the number is this council is going to have to come up with to set aside for deductibles, but I know we spend hundreds of
It's gonna be
thousands of dollars a
crazy.
year minimally on deductibles. It was be a guess based on the number of incidents and tort claims and everything else that we have facing us. And historically, and I'm sure they're going to.
In that time period.
That would have been salary.
And-
Ordinance to create the position.
I would assume that there was an ordinance. I do know that that position was funded from outside the department at that time, but just going back and guessing that there may be an ordinance already on the books for an administrative captain.
And there was some discussion about was that maybe changed to the investigator at the prosecutor's office or something in there? I don't,
That's where the.
That's where it was funded from?
Salary was funded through there.
but it
And the
would have been,
prosecutor's office reimbursed that salary at that time, but
wouldn't that just have been a salary ordinance from the
Yeah,
time?
Would have been a salary ordinance, it would have been a regular one.
So we would have to create a new salary ordinance anyway.
They left, they didn't get replaced, so that could have been one of the positions that got lost when Rich was in office.
Yeah.
And that's why I just brought it up. That was a position that we had during those 8 years and wasn't sure what happened with that or if there is an existing.
We talked a little bit before about what administrative stuff needs to be done, and we talked about reviewing camera footage, and you referred to it a little bit, and watching and noting and redacting and doing all of the things that have been done, and we've been hammered with a bunch of it. And the number of cameras at the old jail versus the number of cameras at this facility, plus the body cameras that you have. My understanding was the amount of video footage that you guys are having to go through for public information requests and information requests from attorneys and insurance companies.
Halving. Listen, that's one of those things. And I know I say a lot of things that are like wrong, but everybody has those one things. Everybody has those things that when someone says it drives you crazy. And that's something that my ex-wife used to say. Instead of having, she would always say halving. And I listened to this guy say this a couple different times last night. And I was just like, ugh.
It has just skyrocketed.
You could get a full-time position just to do that.
Well, I'll just say, as far as insurance and administrative, I'm not saying anything against you with all the tort
Yeah,
claims,
not so fast.
with all the wrecks. I spend 2 full days at least a week doing nothing but on the phone with insurance companies, supplying them with this. So it's not just them
Sure,
that does it.
sure.
Now I'm going to go through every claim along with the commissioners that comes in. We all need more administrative help.
Sure.
I didn't come and ask for it.
Sounds like Debbie needs more administrative help. It sounds like the auditor's office needs the administrative help. Maybe we could kick her, and here's the thing. Her administrative help is going to be cheaper than a sheriff's department administrative help, just that. Rachel, you idiot.
But we all need it.
Understood. I just wanted to ask a question about the video.
As a council member, I kind of like that. We've been really, I want to say we've been lax on last minute decisions. I think we need more than just a chart. I think we need more in-depth discussion, more paperwork on why you need these and how the moves are going to be. I mean, if you're going to create a captain's position from a road deputy, how you're going to replace that road deputy. I think we just need more than just coming in here and standing up here, or anybody standing up here for 20, 30 minutes telling us that they need $78,000. I think we need more discussion on that as council members, and the money's getting tighter where we need to vote more for this stuff.
We tabled ready because we didn't have all the information we need. I agree. And I think it happens at the commissioner's level as well.
My office
There's-
spend a day with me.
Well, no,
after years.
nobody's saying that.
No, I'm not saying-
Nobody's saying it can't be done. Here's the problem is what Mike is saying is, then this has happened at the commissioners, and it happened today with Corey Murphy with the ready. We were handed the stuff today and said, hey, would you want to approve $250,000 or $550,000 for this project with just a map?
Yeah,
We have to do our due.
1,000 out of our own budget for this year. Maybe a little bit more because the Social Security, and I'm not asking for $250,000.
And nobody's telling, Josh, please don't get angry. We all have a job to do.
That's
We
not
all
what I'm
have a job
saying.
to
I
do.
just think we need more time and
But
more.
we are the leadership of the sheriff's office, and we report to you honestly what's going on. I don't know exactly, if you want a list of items for me to bring you, I'd be happy to prepare that. But just let me know exactly what you need, and I don't have a problem.
Well, and apparently, I mean, you've been talking to Shannon. It would have been nice. Maybe Shannon would have given all of us a heads up to said, hey, here's the information that we're looking at.
Here's
what
the
you guys
thing.
can look
Here's
at.
the thing. They're not even being told no. I'm mad at the council because the council needs to just be like, no, right now, we can't do this. We're not doing this. Like, it's crazy because you heard Chad Malacote over here say that they're getting ready to talk about the insurance, but then as they're talking about this, it's like they forget that they've got this big insurance situation coming up. And it's crazy to me. So they need to just be like, right now, we're not talking about any of this. We need to see where we're going to be. We need to see what we're doing. We are literally going to have to be turning over the couches, selling the couches, we're going to have to be renting out spaces for people to live in the county building just for us to be able to try and remotely come up with these figures that we're going to have to pay because of the nonsense that you and your leader has been doing that's put the whole county in a world of hurt. So we're not going to, get mad or don't get mad, get huffy all you want, but we're just not looking at it right now.
Well, the problem is that, I mean, what was it? It was his second month in office.
Yeah.
And he went in and he asked for $60,000 to buy a bunch of stupid mirrors for the gym.
Yeah, right.
And the council gave it to him.
Yep.
When have they ever told him no?
Yep. Very, very, yep. The
And even
council's
when they
never.
told him, Yeah, they've never told him no. The only thing that they kind of told him no on was about the cars. And that was about whether purchasing them, leasing them. That was the discussion.
Yeah.
What was
Yeah.
the smart way to go about
Well,
doing
and
it?
that wasn't the council. That was the commissioners.
Oh, the commissioners, I apologize.
And at that time, it was Bobby and Steve Dellinger. So there was a vote against it. But now the commissioners don't say nothing. No one says no because there's enough support for him. Like in the commissioners, there's 2 in favor of him and 1 against.
Yeah, so I mean, there's this precedent that's been set that they come ask for money and they get handed to them. So even this isn't even a no. This is just a want more information, and they can't vote on anything today anyway because they don't have the ordinance.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, him getting you need to come to my office and go to work with me for a day.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're not
Yeah.
the only one that's got a tough job. They got $1 million to come up with in 10 days.
Right. Right. Yeah. 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 And they got pissy about the cars back then too. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's a very good point, Kate. And that's why, ladies and gentlemen, when you're voting in Henry County, specifically voting for commissioner, Northern District Commissioner, you need to seriously consider voting for Steve Duggar for the commissioner of the Northern District. And keep in mind, he's only the commissioner of the Northern District, but you all get to vote for him. All of Henry County votes for him. So keep that name in mind. And we'll, I'm sure, have him on at some point here in the future, too. All right, let's move along here.
Instead of, it's not even on the itinerary.
We're getting ready to hear some crazy
I mean,
stuff.
that's where, and we've had this discussion with other things before.
I honestly thought it was on the itinerary, but we never got an itinerary.
And I'm not singling you or the sheriff's department out. It's from everybody.
Debbie sends the itineraries out to all department heads.
I may not have done anything crazy.
In
but
advance, but-
I was never contacted about it. This was I heard about.
It's not fair to us as council members just to sit up here and somebody asks for so much money and expect an answer in a 30-minute meeting, especially when it's a lot more money. And you know, like you said, $16,000. I mean, it might not be a lot, but it's our job as stewards to the county to make sure we treat monies correctly.
And these moves are necessary for us. You know, everyone wants to talk about liability and torts, even though 95% of them have no merit, but insurance.
Yeah, and okay, back up there. You know what? I like Josh Smith. And I will say this. I'll give him the little bit of the doubt here. Maybe, and maybe this was a problem. Maybe he's just listening to what Sproles is saying. I have a very serious problem when he says what he just said here. Let's back this up and listen to what he said again. He said it real quick. Matter of fact, I'm going to take the speed off of it here. We'll put him to normal, and we're going to back this up, and we're going to listen to what he just said here. Listen to what the sheriff's second in command just said.
An itinerary.
And I'm not singling you or the sheriff's department out. It's from everybody.
Debbie sends the itineraries out to all department heads.
I may not have done anything crazy.
In
but
advance, but-
I was never contacted about it. This first I heard about it.
It's not fair to us as council members just to sit up here and somebody asks for so much money and expect an answer in a 30-minute meeting, especially when it's a lot more money. And you know, like you said, $16,000. I mean, it might not be a lot, but it's our job as stewards to the county to make sure we treat monies correctly.
And these moves are necessary for us. You know, everyone wants to talk about liability and torts, even though 95% of them have no merit, but insurance.
At what point, I'm mad at the county council. Listen, I'm going to start taking shots at these people that deserve it outside of the sheriff's department. Everybody's running around and is mad at John Sproles, but nobody will smack him the hell down and his people. When these people stand up and say, well, everybody keeps talking about liabilities and everybody keeps talking about, you know, this and that, but 95 and all these torts and these lawsuits, but 95% of them aren't you know, they're frivolous or they're not accurate or they're not right. When in the hell is someone going to say, whoa, 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 whoa? For these lawsuits that you're all claiming are not correct or they're frivolous, and for all these tort actions that are coming forward that you guys are claiming, you know, are wrong, and you know, we'll have our day in court and we'll be found innocent. We, you know, then what are we paying all this money out for? What are we doing when we're getting slapped down left and right and all of this? And, you know, listen, the insurance company doesn't leave a county for frivolous lawsuits, because police departments get hit with frivolous lawsuits all the time. All police departments. Your insurance company does not leave you for frivolous lawsuits. The insurance company leaves you when your ass is served with all of these lawsuits, all of these tort notices, and they are all accurate, real life, serious issues, which is going to cost the county, the insurance company, and everybody involved. The fact that these people are able to sit up here and say 95% or you know, that's crazy.
Keep playing them.
Insurance companies settle because it's cheaper.
Right.
You got
They
an
settle because
attorney
it's cheaper.
that's responsible for
I have a
75% of the.
Do insurance companies want to write checks?
Hell no, they don't.
If they thought they could win a case, would they ever settle it?
No. If they had an opportunity, because here's the reason that they do what they do, is because if they have an opportunity to defeat a quote unquote frivolous lawsuit, they will gladly do it, because
the lawyer's fees are going to be a hell of a lot less.
Yeah, they want to teach
They're not
them.
going to pay the other guy's attorney fees.
Yep.
They're not going to pay the payout on it.
Plus, it sends a message.
Yeah. So they're not, and these are not small lawsuits.
Yeah,
as
that's
my husband over
true.
here is saying.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're not going to settle these out of court if it's, as Admiral said, a dog case.
Yeah. That's true. Mary Nicholson's there. Obviously, when you are going to the polls and you're
Since Mary's here, keep going.
okay, I certainly will. With what Josh says here. Okay, give me
Yes, sir.
1 second. Mary Nicholson, obviously, in the chat, is running for Henry Township board member. So consider voting for her. And I would tell you, when you go to vote for Mary Nicholson, you're going to be able to vote for the top three people. And so what I would tell you to do is just bullet vote. Vote once for her and leave the other two blank. Now, most of you are not going to see her in the primary because she is running as a Democrat, so she's not going to be on the Republican primary. So there's not a whole lot. We don't have to worry about her until December, but just FYI. Okay, here we go.
Lawsuits tell me there's not something going on there. So I
back it up
I
just
won't
a
get into
smidge.
all of that. That's responsible for 75.
Keep going.
Monies correctly.
And these moves are necessary for us. You know, everyone wants to talk.
Never contacted about it. This first I heard about it.
It's not fair to us as council members just to sit up here and somebody asks for so much money and expect an answer in a 30-minute meeting, especially when it's a lot more money. And you know, like you said, $16,000. I mean, it might not be a lot, but it's our job as stewards to the county to make sure we treat monies correctly.
And these moves are necessary for us. You know, everyone wants to talk about liability and torts, even though 95% of them have no merit, but insurance companies settle because it's cheaper.
Right.
You got an attorney that's responsible for 75% of the lawsuits. Tell me there's not something going on there. So I won't get into all of that, but it's, these people are personally attacking us. And, you know, we want to talk about these moves are necessary so we can stay on top of things, right?
That's hilarious to me. That's so crazy to me. He said that out of the 95% of the lawsuits and tort claims, or out of all of the lawsuits and tort claims, 95% of them are frivolous. And then out of 75% of all of the suits are all being brought by one attorney. Tell me there's not something going on there. They're personally attacking us. Let me tell you something. Nobody on the sheriff's department is being personally attacked. Nobody on the sheriff's, very few people are being sued. You know who's being sued? The sheriff, John Sproles, is being sued. And then the couple of idiot guys that follow his lead. They're who's being sued.
It takes so much work. We've done a lot of work. It takes so much work to get this done. And we risk burning people out if we don't have the help. You can't do everything. One or two people can't do everything. And that's why we pulled Matt into this position. So I understand that. I would be happy, Shannon, if you can coordinate exactly what the council would need from us.
I'll be happy to try. We had this discussion, you and I and Scott, 3 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago. And we basically said, you guys need to decide whether you want to come ask for that with or without adding people, and let us know. And, this was a last minute ad. I'm the little birdie that told Josh tonight's probably not a good night to come talk about this, but they felt the need because the workload is there. So it is what it is. I completely understand everybody else wanting to have more time to analyze and think about it too. So appreciate that.
Well,
That's reasonable.
Go ahead.
we have to have a salary ordinance. It's not even prepared, so we can't vote. There's nothing to vote on.
Right.
Well, yeah, we don't want to vote on it, right?
Right,
Okay, so we're,
right. There's nothing to vote on.
There's
and you
nothing
don't
to vote
vote on. You don't vote to say, okay, go ahead. There's,
You can vote without a salary ordinance and make it, and they can get it to us. It's been done a lot.
Yeah.
You can.
That's pretty standard policy, really. It's happened almost all the time. That's pretty regular from the council perspective.
I guess
Go ahead.
not necessarily asking tonight that you say yet. I mean, that would be nice, but, just bringing this to the forefront and letting you know, now again, I would be happy to get whatever other information you all would want. Not a problem.
Josh, I think to
Why
read,
does he sound? Does he
have
sound
what?
like intoxicated? He just sounds like he just, no, I'll bring you whatever you want. What? That's so weird to me. I think, I'll be honest, I think that he's burnt out. I just think that I think that Sproles has these people so warped and just so I think that there's bits of them in there trying to fight against the nonsense they're saying, but that they have to do this or else they're going to be in trouble, and like I said, he's losing a hell of a lot of credibility when, in my eyes, because of the way he's acting and how it's going. It's just really crazy.
Mike's theory or what he was
Sproles
talking
is
about.
here. Sproles is here. He's getting ready to stand up here in a little bit.
Like planning commission, a lot of times we get information on pretty high profile cases at the meeting or maybe an hour before the meeting or 2 hours before the meeting. Really, someone like me would like to be able to digest and ask questions and research. And the chairman of that committee, we had a talk earlier this week, and she was frustrated because it's kind of like, I'd really like to have some of this information ahead of time to digest and maybe ask you or ask the sheriff or whoever. It is starting to pile up where we're confronted with important information just minutes or hours before a meeting, where I think most of us would like to study it and ask those questions. I don't think the question is that there's a need when this alone supports that there's a need. But in 2027, you're going to ask for 78 or whatever the new is, that this is a stopgap and it's not going to cost that
It's
much
just
more.
crazy. It's crazy to me. It's crazy to me that they continue using words like that, like frivolous lawsuits and crap like that, when each and every time they're proven wrong when they say stuff like that. Remember the very first lawsuit? I think the very first lawsuit that Sproles got was mine. I'm not sure, so I'm not trying to say, "Ooh, look at me." I think the first lawsuit filed against Sproles was my First Amendment lawsuit. And Sproles came out of the park. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was the second or third, whatever. But it was right around in there. But Sproles came out of the park swinging. It was a frivolous lawsuit. I'm going to have my day in court. We will not settle. I'm going to defeat this. Christopher Bilbrey's crazy. This blah, 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 blah. And that's not what happened. And basically, he's lost, or they've settled every other situation, or just paid out on torts to not even go to court, because they knew they were not going to beat them. They knew they couldn't.
It's internal, but come next year, and we're getting hit with so much extra and additional appropriation.
He's supposed to. So here's what I would highly recommend anybody that is still blocked with by Sproles. What you need to do is you need to, if there's anybody out there that is blocked by John Sproles on any of the Henry County pages, message me and tell me that you're blocked. And Joe, I know that you are, so you don't have to. I'll go ahead and send it to you. I will send you the finalized document that the judge signed off on in my case. And what you need to do, I'll also send you Joel Harvey's email. And then you need to send an email to Joel Harvey with a copy of my finalized documentation. And you need to tell Joel that you have been blocked for almost as long as I was, and that the sheriff needs to unblock you immediately, or else you will be filing a lawsuit against the Henry County government. And I guarantee you will be unblocked.
And cost increases and whatnot.
Okay, I'll send anybody. I'll send that to you, Eric. I'll send it to you, Joe.
We have a good balance right now, but it's heading in directions that are, I don't know, it can't be supported if it keeps up the way it has the last year. So, but I think the thing is, we'd like to have this information ahead of time. Everything that we tabled, we might have been able to act on if we'd had information ahead of time.
Josh, I'm interested demeaning by my comments. I mean, I think we just need more information.
Okay. Well, I'll work with.
I have
one, whatever that information looks like.
I have Jay Wright.
Yeah, we'll roll on from there. So thank you guys for your time.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Something else you guys might want to know as
Here we
well.
go.
I got an email from DLGF today asking why our CNAVs went down, because after we added our 2% homesteads and things, they took a major drop, and they were questioning why. Our certified net assessed values after we added our homesteads took a major drop. So
Oh yeah, he does.
you guys might need to know that when you're doing things.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing, that's the comment I was going to make, is I think we have so much uncertainty over what's coming out of Indianapolis and our future revenue streams that's why we're all extremely gun shy right now, and having any reoccurring charges, that we have to sustain. Sheriff?
Just a quick question. So just being that you need the information, I'm assuming that you all will reach out to us for exactly what you want to see, and we'll be able to work through this and give you ample time to be back on the agenda next month. Is that what?
Yes.
Okay.
Shannon's
That's all. Okay.
Shannon and Scott will head that up as your liaison.
They'll take questions from you guys and get them to us, and we'll get you the information and be back on the agenda. That's fine. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Steve, I hate to put you on the hot seat, but the next conversation is the insurance. And if you would like to join the conversation, it'd be more
Listen
than
to what
welcome
Steve
but I
says.
think it bears a conversation because while we've got an immediate need of more than likely going to have to come up with an additional somewhere to pay this
That's right,
bill
Mary.
by the 21st.
You're exactly
that's
right.
looming. I'm assuming we're just going to go in the red and then we're just going to have to make up for it because I know Debbie's been crunching numbers. I've talked to her.
Okay, anybody that is interested in sending that to them, I will send you my documentation and you can send it to Joel, and I guarantee you that'll take care of it.
You can sit over there if you want to. This is probably going to take a minute. Whatever you
want to be here. No,
I know you don't.
I want to have this conversation. No.
Listen to Dellinger, and somebody sent this to me and they said they didn't like what he was saying. I like what he's saying. I like he's fed up. He's fed up with John. He's fed up with this nonsense, and I can get I get what he's saying. He said Chad's telling him that he can sit over here to the side if he wants, because this might take a while, and he said he'll just stay there. And he says, I don't want to be here. I don't want to be having this conversation. He's mad about this, and really he's the only one that acts appropriately mad about it. He's had enough. Yes, right.
I think we're forced to.
And before he comes up here to have this, he has to sit back there and listen to the sheriff's department put on that performance that they just put on. I guarantee you he's pissed off about this. So I appreciate what the commissioner's saying. The commissioner being Steve Dellinger right here at the moment. Whether people like him or not, I get it, but he's willing to take on Sproles. And at the moment, it's kind of like your enemy of your enemy is your friend. So you just gotta take what you can get.
At this point, unfortunately, my friend,
I'm going to have to defer to Debbie because she's been crunching all these numbers.
She and I have spoken several times, and she's crunched numbers, and we've had conversations. And I think when I first started talking to her about it and looking into it, hearing and talking, what you guys have done, the biggest impact is not only the bill, it's the deductibles. Because and Scott, you are in this industry, you understand the difference. The difference between a $0 deductible and a $100,000 deductible is like, oh my gosh, what happened? Because you're basically uninsured. If a sheriff's deputy pulls out here, slides off the road, and hydroplanes in the rain, and right that they're fine, but if the car's totaled, we have zero insurance for all intents and purposes. So whereas before, we just turned it into the insurance and we got the car replaced.
So I think I need to correct something. So our auto physical damage deductible is only 25,000.
Okay. Only
it's the auto liability of if a sheriff deputy goes out here and runs into 3 people, that one is the one that goes to $250,000.
But
even the $25,000
cars are barely worth $25,000.
Yes, and general liability has gone from 0 to 100.
Yeah, so
it's everybody's. Yeah.
Basically, and this is the sad reality, you're correct. Short of a catastrophic earthquake, tornado, nuclear blast, we are self-insured at this point. Going forward, that's where you're at. Like it or not, it doesn't matter. And I'm not trying to be mean and nasty to anybody. I deal in realities. This is the papers we're given. This is the insurance. Nobody wants to touch us. This is where we're at. So one way or the other, I don't know where you're going to come up with it without wiping out half the county's budgets, but somebody's going to come up with $1 million here in a few days. I don't know where you're going to get it.
In talking with Debbie, we're within a couple $100,000. I think if you add we're within a couple $100,000 of the actual bill paid, but that's not the totality of it. We currently do not have a fund anywhere in the county that just says for deductibles. We do not have a line item anywhere in anybody's budget that says deductible.
Because this is not something that people do.
Our insurance premium, our health insurance premium, they are going to send us bills weekly.
And Debbie already beat me to what I was going to say is that's going to cause a lot of administrative costs and expense along the way too, because if the auditor's office is going to have to maintain that and do that on top of the, and all the other things they normally do, whereas now we don't. They turn it, she still has to worry about it, turn it over, and the insurance company takes care of it and she coordinates, but now she's going to be on the front lines and she's going to be physically processing the claims. Well, her office is going to, let me rephrase, not Debbie.
Reality, because now you had to drag every other county entity into this because now everyone's affected as far as anybody has a vehicle, period.
Well, it's not just vehicles, it's everybody everywhere. It's everybody.
Basically, you take a vehicle that's over 2 years old, we're going to pay for it.
So here's the bad part. So we got to figure this, but it was 2 departments. The insurance liability was left in, EMS and highway. You wiped all the highways out by giving them this premium. Well, 911, you took theirs out. You took the health department out. You took the part. Now what's the highway department going to do if they have something happen? They still had a liability line in theirs to pay it. As far as EMS, they still had a liability line. Highway department's more than doubled from last year to this year. it more than doubled.
And if you take
That's right.
EMS's line out
Rachel.
for insurance, here's their concern. They've got a premium payment due in June. So does this double up? Because they won't have it. If you take their money to pay it now, they won't have it in June to pay. So we put them behind the 8 ball. So this is a
And their money is
catastrophic
not
avalanche.
taxpayer money. Their money is self-generated on their runs and their insurance. We didn't hand them the money for that line. That's the money that they generate themselves.
Are there recommendations coming?
Well, I'm going to,
$1,000 administrative fee, we had to pay it. It's already paid. That's one we have other ones we pay quarterly, but we've already paid a $30,000.
Joe.
Well, yeah.
so here's where I think we're at. We have three things to tackle. We got to tackle the bill, which is coming due. We've got to give some serious discussion to how we want to handle the deductible situation. Do we create funds? Where do we create funds? Do we create a fund for the sheriff's department and then create a fund for the rest of the county? Do we create, but I think we also have to keep things separate because the health department, the highway department, and the park all are funds outside of the general fund levy. And then we haven't even mentioned community correction. Community corrections generates theirs from a grant, but we're still going to have to look at some type of a deductible fund because we're all aware of an issue that came out of the community corrections here recently, and they're not immune to the potential of claim. So
Of course.
we've got to discuss the deductibles and how we handle the deductibles. And then this year's budget session is going to be very interesting because I don't know what the trending is, Scott, but I would say that at this $1,076,000 premium is probably going to.
They also had another one.
Yeah.
So it's not just this one. There have been multiple for the corrections.
Yeah. Yeah.
Go up next year.
Rachel.
I've been out of insurance for a few years, but the trending has not been pretty from what I've seen in my personal experience. I just got my renewals for my personal stuff and my business rentals and stuff. And so the trending is not pretty. So I'm assuming the trending has not been great and with all of the stuff going on. And we're at a very high risk category because of the claim history we have. Our claim history is dismal. It's terrible. I mean, it really is. And
yes,
Josh Safari's, maybe they're not all founded, but I'm sure they aren't, but it still hits our histories and it's still.
And then now you've got Chad who parrots back what he heard Josh say, saying, maybe they're not all founded. I'm sure they aren't. Look, tomorrow I will issue a records request to the commissioners and to the council. I will send it to Joel as well, and I'll figure out I will figure out which one of them will respond and give me the actual answer, and we'll find out how many lawsuits have been filed against John Sproles and the Henry County Sheriff's Department for action that has occurred since Sproles took office. I don't care. I will find out what the other ones are, but really what I care about is what's happened since Sproles taken office forward, how many there have been total, how many there still are currently, how many have been settled, how many have been won, and I'll find out how many they were victorious on or how many they were the losing side on. I will find that out.
Ads every single one that hits the books, and we still have to defend every single.
Angie, they have insurance. When what they mean, they keep saying we have insurance, but it's like we don't have insurance. Well, what they mean by that is they're paying for insurance. They have insurance, but the deductible is so high that it's as if they don't have insurance. They can't turn things in because they're not. It's not gonna. It doesn't matter. So they're legal, but it doesn't help them in any way.
One of those, and
I'll find that out.
There's the deductible picture comes into play because we may be responsible for paying all of those deductibles that are out there.
The other sad reality was you got other departments that there were no issue, but your insurance carrier would not separate between law enforcement and the rest of your vehicles as far as in the county because they figured that's where they're going to make money off of us. There are no claims in those.
My understanding is that they wouldn't separate it because if they did separate it, they wouldn't cover the law enforcement section of the.
but we could not financially afford it. It wasn't
Yes.
even in
Yeah.
the realm of what we could look
So we were left with no option other than do what we're doing now.
So for all intents and purposes, we're self-insured now.
Mhm.
And what we have is catastrophic coverage. And so I guess we eat this elephant one bite at a time, and we've got to, Debbie, I don't know, do you have an exact number that we need to consider? And even if, I mean, obviously we're going to have to pull it out of the unappropriated fund.
at. Right now, we can make it work with what we have.
Okay.
But come July, when all of our other ones are due, that's when we're gonna know an exact amount.
And I will tell you, everybody keeps referring to Sproles as Fat Elvis, which is absolutely fantastic. I love it. But I'm sure he's okay, but until I find out, there are a couple of different clips of these videos that I plan to put up at some point for people to see. I just need to find out if I have the creators okay. First of all, I need to find out if he's okay with me putting them up. Then if I put them up, I want to find out if he wants credit or doesn't want credit. Because number one, I don't want to get him. If he wants credit, I want to give him credit. Or if he's okay with him going up, but he doesn't want credit, I want to make sure what he wants. So they're just hilarious.
One other thing to note about the insurance, you were talking to Angie about it. The auto collision, physical damage, that deductible's cumulative over a year. So if they have 3 wrecks in a year, they pay $25,000 between all 3 wrecks, and then the insurance covers the rest. The problem with all their other insurance, all these liabilities, is that the deductibles they're talking about are not cumulative. They are per claim.
Per claim. Yeah, that's very important to note.
So this could get real ugly real fast with these deductibles. And so saying that he's bankrupting the county is not beyond the stretch of imagination.
Yeah. Wait, you don't think what's correct, Kate? All right, Rachel. You don't think what's correct?
So they were asking about how much they paid out for the lawsuits.
Yeah.
Can they reveal everything they've paid out, even if there's an NDA in place?
They can. So the
Okay.
individual
That's
can't.
what I didn't know. I said I don't know if they can because they're
No, that's
NDAs.
fine. So so like, for example, I cannot tell you I cannot comment about our winnings. I cannot tell you about the amount of money that I received and the amount of money that my attorney received in our lawsuit. And my organization can't. Like, Kate can't send a record request and get it, or Brandon can't send a record request and get it, and them put it out, but me just sit quietly. Somebody else has the ability, but I can't. So that's that. Now, as far as what Rachel's talking about here.
Yeah, she's trying to correct me. I listened to the meeting 3 times.
Yeah.
And they did talk about it being that one will build up over the year.
Yep.
And then start over. So
Kate is
I
one.
listened 3 times
Yeah.
because I was very concerned about the deductibles.
Kate is 100% correct about that. And if the meeting that you want to listen to, if you're interested in listening to that for yourselves, if people are interested in going back and listening to that, you can find it. I would recommend you listen to specific. There's 2 specific links that I would tell you to listen to. And if you give me 1 second here, I can tell you what they are. I would specifically tell you to go back and listen to the Henry County Commissioners special meeting that occurred on February 25th, 2026. You need to listen to that. Kate just put it up. And then you need to listen to the Henry County Commissioners regular meeting that occurred later that evening on February 25th, 2026. Kate just put them both in there. And if you go and you listen to that, Kate is 100% correct. And it is absolutely nuts. Henry County Commissioners regular meeting. So the commissioners also had a meeting yesterday that I did not know about. Is there anybody in here that's watched the commissioners meeting yesterday? Was there anything there that was really a big shakeup? I didn't see anything. I didn't see anything in there. I did not know about that. What did Rachel say? I was talking to a person who is a department head, and while it was told outside of the meeting that if they wrecked their cars, 25 would have to pay out of their budget each time. That's why I thought that. I bet I know who that department head is, and I don't know why they would either have been told that or why they would think that. I'll talk to you after the show and find out, because that's definitely Kate's 100% right. When she listened to it 2 or 3 times, she said I listened to it I think at least twice, and it's 100%. It's 100% correct, because that's what's so shocking about all of this is that it's, the county is really in a bad place right now, and it sucks. I don't know what else to say. It's really, really, really bad.
Math. Right now we can make it do, but July we can't. But I have to know when we get a claim in, where do I pay it?
Where do we pay the claims?
We pulled it all out to pay the
I
premium.
don't have anything.
I know,
to pay.
I know.
I've never paid one. So
Right.
where does it come from?
Yeah, so that's where we're going to, like I said, we're going to have to create.
And so basically,
we already
question
have the line items for the premiums.
is
I think
what
we've
they
got to create
spend.
line items in
They
whether
spend
it's
the
in
next.
council budget, commissioner's budget for a deductible line item for the general levy. We have to
They
create
spend the next
one for
20
the
minutes,
sheriff's
30
department.
minutes
We have to create one for the
fighting
park,
about.
for the highway department, for the health department, and probably community corrections.
What are we
since
going to
all
do?
of-
Should we do something? Are we going to do something? Are we not going to do something? Can we do something? Can we not do something? Are we going to vote? Are we not going to vote? How are we going to pay it? Are we going to make a fund? Are we going to make a
And
big
we'll have
pool?
to create those as non-reverting funds would be my recommendation.
You have other departments that fall under the commissioners where there's
Yeah,
vehicles.
well, that's anything else, anything under the general fund levy, which is most everything.
General fund.
Yeah.
General fund. Nobody has deductibles this year. No one has a deductible line item in their budget. No one.
Oh,
the
I
only
would
thing
say
we're going to be
Henry
able to do
County.
is do an additional
DJ.
appropriation out of the unappropriated general fund. The $11 million that's in that fund.
Right now it's
Okay,
nine.
well,
I think it's probably Henry County, because they mentioned several times in this meeting about having departments run in the red
Yeah.
until they can get the money back in there.
Yeah. That is crazy talk.
Yeah, oh. Yeah, just run in the red. It'll be fine.
I mean, Joe Tompkins or somebody said a couple of weeks ago that it would just be cheaper to dissolve Henry County. And I mean, that is a sad fact. I think Rachel said what they need to do is they need to just dissolve the law enforcement aspect of the Henry County Sheriff's Department and keep the Sheriff's Department just for keeping the jail and running the court security, because while they do find themselves in a situation where they can get in lawsuits and have issues in the jail, as we know, at least that cuts half of the problem out of the picture. And then you could just like have the Newcastle City Police Department. You could do an MOU with them and have them, which we're talking silly here, obviously, but they are in a really bad situation. And I'm telling you, here's the bad thing about this is whoever becomes sheriff, and I'm going to tell this to you right now, Henry County, whoever becomes sheriff after Sproles is not going to be the world's greatest sheriff. It's going to be a disaster, because they are going to have to dig out of all of this Sproles shit. Okay. You know, there's horse shit and there's bullshit and there's Sproles shit. And that's what's going to happen. And it's going to be a hard road to hoe. I'm telling you, it's going to be hard. So if Sproles wins re-election and is here for 4 more years, I can't even imagine what the county would look like at the end of that. But if Sproles is defeated, and I really think that he can be, I really, really do think that he could be, it's going to take 4 years to dig out of this. Let's see here. What did someone said? You'd be surprised how many Henry County residents do not know how bad. I know. I hear from a couple people that talk about that, and that's really scary. And that's what it's your responsibility out to do that. Number one, you do one of two things. You either share the show and you get them here, okay? Absolutely 1000%. Or number two, you tell them, you give them the information if they won't come and they won't be here. Yep, absolutely. Seeing Tinkerbell, seeing the comments, seeing them all come through, seeing every single one of them. So they are definitely there. Everybody's comments are there. One of these days, well, I will wait till the new studio to tell you all that. Henry County, we will go back 40 years when it had as many. Henry County will go back 40 years when it had half as many deputies, but 30% higher population back before the big factories closed. Yeah, absolutely. So, okay, we'll continue on here.
Worried about that.
That's exactly right, Rachel. That's exactly right. I go down through and I see people sharing just the absolute, I see absolutely the craziest people posting the craziest things. And if everybody would just share the link to this to this show, share the information about Sproles, tell people, all you got to do is just help spread the link, spread the word, spread the information. If people don't want to watch me, that's fine. You can tell them this information because there are people out there that don't know how bad it is. I hear from a couple people in that area frequently.
If you can't get a number and a claim comes in from Josh, the fund's open, we can run it in the red to do an additional appropriation for not very long.
Yeah, well,
But we can do that. I mean, I don't think you have to come up.
I think we have to do, but like I said, we got to eat this elephant one bite at a time. And the first bite is to create these deductible funds. The second bite is to come back next month and hopefully get a rough number that we can start the process for an additional appropriation to give those funds a shot in the arm, and whatever that number is, $500,000 or whatever, divided out between those funds. And then we reevaluate come budget time.
And I think that it is important to say this, that Chad Malacote, Shannon, Scott, and Kennan at budget time last year bent over backwards to give all the things to the sheriff's department. They would not look long-term at how these things would affect the county. There were people, I don't know. I know for a fact, I don't know who all. I know that Bobby voted no on the budget. But I will tell you for a fact, will tell you beyond all shadow of a doubt, that Chad Malacote, and I always, is Shannon Tom, something like that, Shannon Tom, Scott and Kennan voted and basically bent over backwards to give the sheriff's department everything they wanted, to do everything they needed, and did not believe that we would ever get to this situation. So there are people out there that are trying to do what they can to put Sproles in his place and to say, hey, look, we have to look at things, in a very serious manner. And so again, I will give Bobby the benefit, or I will give Bobby the round of applause for doing the right thing. And there have been times that Bobby and I have been at odds, but I will tell you, really the last 2 years of her time as commissioner and everything she's done as counselor, there, I've been more in favor of things Bobby have done than been against it. So I will tell you that. That's very important for people to know.
As to how we need to appropriate that and adjust the levy accordingly for the levy funds, and then adjust the budgets
I
accordingly.
thank you for that, Alva.
The funds that are outside of the levy.
What
Like
do
the
we
highway.
do right now?
To create the funds. It's just a matter of discussion as how we want to create the funds. If we want one,
Isn't Hancock County self-insured?
They are self-insured. Same thing what you guys are doing. They're set up, they set up a fund the same way.
Yeah.
That was a quarterly, but I can't.
are paying claims from, knowing there's $0 with the an
Can
increase in
I-
the max levy.
I think we're getting way deep in the weeds.
I love this.
We
Right here. Here we go. Here's the quote of the meeting.
can always make a change. Let's just make a dang dong decision tonight. And if we don't like it, we can change it.
You can always tell when Bobby gets pissed off and is done with it, because she starts making up words and phrases. I want to go back. I want to go back to this. Let's listen to this yet again.
All you're doing is making their piece of the pie a little bigger and making.
They seriously argued about this for like 60 minutes, and it was completely nonsense. Absolutely.
Smaller. It doesn't make the pie any bigger.
Well, most of the funds that are under the levy, which is the ones you're talking about, their fund got much bigger this year anyway, with an increase in the max levy.
I think we're getting way deep in the weeds. We can always make a change. Let's just make a dang dong decision tonight.
Let's
and
make
if
a
we don't
dang
like
dong
it, we can
decision.
Change it.
So can I make a suggestion? You do a fund from the commissioners this year line, because you know it's coming from county general this year. Nobody has the money to pay it. At budget time, you create those funds for
Right.
that department.
Exactly.
And then, because it's not going to be till next year, you can pay out of those.
And then we'll know what.
And
we're
then-
paying out.
Exactly.
Well, the only, and again, this goes back to, I would like the way to track it with each individual department. And that's what I'm going to ask from the insurance company, is to give us an estimate for each of these that get the bill. What do you estimate that we need to have in reserve for each of these funds, each of these departments? Because they will have historical data to give us that.
It's going to be probably a 3-year period before you're going to start seeing.
You're right.
Yeah.
There's no question.
Yeah. So I think it's going
But
to,
I don't know if you've got people that track it.
Well, okay.
okay. So let's circle back. I mean, if there's any more probative discussion, we'll go, but we do have a motion and a second on the table. Yes, sir. Appreciate it. Steve, I'm sorry to put you on the hot seat, but you understand why I had to. Appreciate it. But we do have a motion and a second. So we do need to address that, but I'm open to additional probative discussion. Anybody have anything more we want to say?
Let's just take a vote and see.
Let's take a vote and see what happens then. I'm with Bobby. Okay, so all those in favor of creating these deductible non-reverting funds, asking Joel to put that together for us in an ordinance, which we'll have to pass in a future meeting, but we can pass it today and knowing we'll sign it in future meeting. Say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, same sign. Okay, so
And this can always be changed.
it can be
We
changed,
just
but
need to take the first bite.
we got to do exactly. We got to get started. We got to start this ball rolling. So we have motion 6-0 with one abstention. Okay. Any other business from the council? Anybody from the council have any?
No, I just want to say one thing, and Gabe's not here, but so Gabe's last day was on Friday. I know we've hired Kyle Cole for Weights and Measures, but I worked closely with Gabe as a commissioner, and we still communicate, and he has taken another position in Hamilton County. I want to wish him the best of luck and thank him for everything that he has done over the last 4 years when he went full-time to Weights and Measures. He has taken that department to a level that the state director recognizes, and they are starting to implement the things that he implemented here at the state level. So I wish Gabe Beatty all the best in the world. I wish he could
All right, I think that's it.
back here, but because he was great, nothing against Kyle Cole. But
Yeah,
wish him nothing
yeah.
but-
So you're
I
not gonna
absolutely-
see Rachel's comments, because Rachel's commenting on Facebook, and you're not commenting on Facebook, so you're not gonna see her comments. The only comments that you're gonna see are people who are commenting on YouTube. You're not going to see people who are commenting on Rumble or X or Facebook or all of that. That's the only time you're ever going to see those is if we're putting them up on the screen, like what goes up on the screen. Like, so if you look right here, I'm going to show you here, and then get back to the show here. Right, it says, Rachel Clark, I love how they tell Josh they don't need to vote on their captain salary, then vote immediately on the very next topic, LOL. And you'll see Rachel, and you'll see next to Rachel's name, there's a little blue box that says F. That's Facebook. So you don't see them in your feed because she's on Facebook. So that's that. All right. That's the end of the meeting, basically, there. And that's the situation. With that, they basically go through there and they end the meeting. I'm telling you, people, and the reason this wasn't like a big craziness that goes on, there wasn't. And yeah, Rachel, if Rachel was on YouTube like she should be, then that's the situation. But that's yes. See, Karen is smart because Karen is here via YouTube, not on Facebook. That is very, very cool. So here's the deal. People are really kind of following what's going on in Muncie. I've got a lot of stuff going on in Muncie. I've got records requests I'm waiting on. We've got some things from the Board of Works meeting, and we've got a whole bunch of things going on there. Okay. We've got a lot of stuff happening. But I think it's very important to put this out for the exact reason, that what people were saying here, there's still a lot of people in Henry County that doesn't know that the county is on fire, that the county is going down with the ship, that the county is in an airplane and it's crashed into the mountain, that the county is a frog and it's being eaten by an alligator, whatever the analogy you want to say. There are still people out there that do not know that Sproles has really put the county in bad shape. So now we have 3, okay? The county is an Iranian drone. the county, there are 3 good episodes right here. Bang, bang, bang. This episode, the episode that we did about the insurance, and the episode that we did about Gully, that people need to be sharing to your friends and your family out there that live in Henry County. And you need to be telling them that there's a whole backlog of episodes that they can go. There are, let me look here and tell you exactly how many there are. There are exactly 113 episodes that you can go and watch about John Sproles and the chaos that he has caused since he took over as sheriff. And then if the people of Henry County at that point still want to elect him sheriff, then you guys are gluttons for punishment. You're idiots. It can't be a thing where you go in and say, well, I'm going to go in and select a straight ticket. Just do that. Now, look, that's all November stuff. We can beat Sproles before November. That would be painful, Rachel. We need to beat him in May. We have an opportunity to beat him in May. And look, it's going to get crazy. If he's beaten, if we defeat him in May, and he then has to be the sheriff in June and July and August and September and October and November and December, things will go crazy. Things will go crazy. Okay. And so, that's happening. So, I'm just, telling you, you can absolutely put an end to this in May, and we can fight through the craziness for the next 6 months after, or you can give him another 4 years. And for the love of God, I don't know why anybody would want to do that, but you have that opportunity to do that. Let me see here 1 second. I did read that. Since Sproles likes power, can we point him to the new leader of Iran? Yeah, that would be very dangerous. I think that would be dangerous. That's nuts. We would definitely be in Armageddon before you knew it. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, there we go. That was that. I am extremely tired, so I'm going to get some rest. We will do a show tomorrow, and I believe that the show should be hopefully the vote show. So we'll have you guys vote, and then we'll be able to put up the poll on Facebook. And what we'll do is we'll just leave it go. Well, I'll do it long. I was going to do it for 24 hours, but we'll let it be for the weekend. And then on Sunday, we will tell who the winners will be. So, all right. Thank you all for everything. You guys take care. Have a good evening, and we will see you back here tomorrow night, a very special Friday night episode. So remember, we will be here Friday night. So tune in. Normally we're off, but we will be here, and we will go through the contest. So, all right, you guys take care. Have a good evening, and we will see you next time. Goodbye.